I basically want the best for my dog. I want my dog to be happy. So, this is my former service dog in training. Satori-chan. This is her former service vest, which I have replaced with a hefty tug toy. But I'm here to discuss the evolution of our training program and what I've decided to do. I mean, I am a codependent because I'm a result of toxic parenting, negative, neglectful parenting. But my parents were never, well, actually, my dad did use a little bit of violence, right? So I grew up with a little bit of violence. I'm trying to film my dog. Satori cam. Let's see. Oh, there's a good Satori cam. She is present in this conversation, y'all. Representing I actually want to change her position. She is still a service dog, but like the way that what she does, aka her tasks for my disability, she's not tasking for my disability, which I always had a problem with tasking because I am a high functioning able-bodied person. And through taking on this project of having her to be in service to my disability and taking on CPTSD as an actual disability, there's been an interesting, without being a victim, but using the dog to reparent the abuse that I experienced as a child. The little bit of violence that I experienced as a child, mostly from my dad, was impactful enough for me to have PTSD from it. So, at the age of 45. And so, because I need to call attention to it, I cannot heal it until I call attention to it. And I hope that with my dog, I've been able to call attention to the abuse that I was trying to just bury and hope that it would go away. But I was finding that it was actually causing some subconscious wiring in my brain. And I'm not going to go into that in this video, but the little bit of violence that like my dad would do one time, he wanted me to clean my room, for instance, so he kicked me in my room. I specifically remember being kicked into my room and like feeling like I was going up in the air as a child. So I must have been light enough to, to have flown into the air, probably 45 pounds, and getting kicked. I remember my dad kicking my dog down the stairs, and so that at the time when I had my family dog, I was 10 years old. So violence is not just first-hand violence, second-hand violence is violence. So my dad kicked my dog, my family dog, at the age of 10. He had kicked me, probably I was like 6. He has knocked me in the head with a knuckle, like this thing, tonk. I remember hearing the sound tonk. So that kind of thing, it's like still ingrained in my brain, especially the tonk, because he was like literally, knocking on my head. My mom remembers incidents of physical violence that I don't remember. She has recounted it to me and told me. And I've talked about that on other channels. Him chasing me as a toddler was very traumatic. Because my dad also has CPTSD, so sudden bursts of rage is his kind of fight response. and I'll have the flight response. And so then we, as adults, then who take on this reparenting, love is my service dog training, can either, like some people I think have PTSD really bad, and then it becomes like a disability where you can't leave the house and you become a dog hoarder, perhaps, or a hoarder of various things because your mental illness is so intense. But I have uncovered a ton of, undealt with childhood trauma through having my dog. I mean, even yesterday was full of. I am a substitute teacher, so I deal with children, human children. And then the regular teacher was like, "Oh, do you have kids?" And I said, "I have a dog child." And then she said, "Well, that's not the same because they can't talk to you." And I'm like, "I talk to Satori all the time." And one of the things that we've talked about, I'm going to put this down because I'm getting tired and don't need to see her sleep. She's pictured right there. Right there. My niece drew that picture. But I don't talk to that niece anymore because she's the child of the narcissist sister. But what I have learned when she was in service to my disability and being my service dog, my SDIT, my full-time, coming with me everywhere, seeing if that was going to be helpful for my disability, my PTSD. Satori has the intelligence to tell me exactly what she wants, and I, through parenting, reparenting, consciously, Satori, I've been able to take in energetically, telepathically, dog psychology to human, as a pack leader, exactly what she wants. It's not hard to know what our animal wants of us. And she did not want to come into stores with me anymore, right? It wasn't that she didn't want to wear the mouth trainer. She didn't like wearing the prong collar, but now she knows, how to wear a prong collar. She knows how to be in stores. And I do still train her as my service dog. I do still expose her to stores as part of her training. Once every other day, still, we go to one store that she has to wear a prong collar because she still has trouble with just body control. And I still am disabled, and it still does help me to have a dog by my side, but I have the ability to be selective about where I can take her because it's not necessary for her to be with me 24/7 in stores, at the doctor. I can choose when I need that support. I can choose how she can support me. She is of service to me when I come into my car after, I leave her in times when I'm training her now to be a protection dog more. I think she enjoys that. Like this toy right here, her tug toy, like I'm training her how to be a protection sports dog. And any kind of training is the service that you need to reparent. It's just that it's not the pet dog route. So I think what's most helpful, what I'm gearing towards, if I, when I have coaching clients of my own, which I have one person right now who is my life coaching client who is also training a puppy and another rescue dog. And we had an incident of violence already because, as we know, with dogs, things happen like that. With kids, things happen like that. It's just like a good way for you to have chaos back in your life that you can eventually control. So if you grew up in chaos as a child and you couldn't control it because you were a child, now you're the adult. And it's up to you to be the adult in the situation and not act like your parents did in order to overcome the PTSD that is controlling your life. This is a theory that I'm just doing I'm just learning by doing, you know, like I have, there is no book on this, right? It's like, I've just learned that training my dog has been the medicine, right? Having this dog around me is reparenting, is obviously reparenting. At first I thought that she was going to be my service dog. She is my service dog, but I don't need a dog in stores with me. A actual dog that helps my disability. She does help my disability, but it's not necessary for her to come to work with me. And this has been the process. Like, if you think that she is not sophisticated enough to actually have conversations with me, like yesterday we were playing with this very tug toy, right? Like, I thought, okay, I'm going to be gone all day. I want to play a little tug with her before I go to school. She ignored it. She's like, no, go to work, right? It was so cute. She was like, you need to go to work. What are you doing? Go to work on time, because of my CPTSD, being on time, lateness, getting lost, all kinds of stuff is a huge issue for me. My dog has observed me go in and out of the building, up the stairs, down the stairs, forget stuff all the time. Like, that's like part of being around me and my disability. Forget stuff every day. Repeat patterns over and over. Having the, I heard someone PTSD say I have the memory of a goldfish, and I was like, oh, really? That's great. That's like a common thing. I have ADD, I have PTSD, so getting out the door is a challenge. So she helps me in that way. That she's like, Mom, what are you doing? You have to go to work. Don't play tug with me right now. I don't need... She educates me with this. Like, when I used to try and train her with treats, she would reject the treat. She's like, nah, you can't bribe me with treats. I will do it because I want to do it. Like, she told me this telepathically, dogopathically. Like, this whole thing about dogs don't talk, like, I got that loud and clear signal. So she listens to me because she wants to, you know, and she takes treats, and I clicker train her, and she's been reinforced because, you know, the telepathic dog thing is not 100%. So I have to use all methods. The clicker, I use a prong collar with her. I use treats, and then her treats are peanuts. She loves peanuts. All of these methods, I think all of this stuff, telepathic, I use positive reinforcement. All of these methods, I think, are part of it. Positive reinforcement is my go-to method. Love is my go-to method. But today, this morning, I had to hit her because she hit me. So she hit me. She hits other dogs. She does this thing. She hit my guest. My client, so it had to stop, you know, like and I don't know if it's going to stop. I hope that works, you know, because I don't know what will stop her. I don't want to hit my dog. I felt, you know, like angry that she hit me. So I reacted with violence, but I already energetically talked to her. We're already bonding again. Her legs are on me, you know. She's with me now. But after I hit her, because she hit me, like, she does this thing where she punches dogs. She does this play thing where she punches dogs in the nose, and she needs to know that that's not acceptable. She's done it with my guest, with her nose, and then she did it with me, and it hurt, right? And so then I did it with her, like, she needs, like, and then she felt the pain of it, and it was like I bopped her in her nose the way that she bopped me in my nose, you know. And then of course it's like, is it ever okay to hit a dog? And I watched a bunch of YouTube videos on, you know, hunter trainer hunting dogs, and like shooting dogs that do regularly hit their dogs, you know. Like, if your dog, I think violence, like, I think no matter what, if your child, your human child is hitting you, if your dog child is hitting you, you have a right to defend yourself no matter what, right? And so I've been martial arts doing blocking, but I'm sick of that. That's not working anymore, right? She's not listening. So I did bop her today, and hopefully that will stop it. But I feel like, and then I followed up a couple hours later with, you can't hit people, you know, like, I'm going to try and have an energetic conversation with her. But these energetic conversations have led to me understanding that she doesn't want to wear this vest. She understands that going into stores and going with me everywhere, going to school with me everywhere is exhausting for her. She has to be at attention and be in service to me and not be a dog, which means that if she's around children, she cannot be like, woo, 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 woo. And she loves that. So she feels that that's not her. I also feel that that's not where she's best suited. And I didn't know how to do this when I first got the dog, but I knew that as a puppy she couldn't be left alone. And so and I know that I have asthma, and so I need air of some kind. And hopefully you can still hear me. We're at 16 minutes, so I think I should stop for now. And that's my update on how my former service dog in training has become my protection dog in training. But as far as it goes, I do need her in cabin with me, for example. And I do like her to be trained to come with me to places when I need that. She is in service to my disability, and it's nobody's business really how. And I've become stronger and stronger in this process through just trial by error. Like, I asked for her to come to school with me through a reasonable accommodation process. And then she has elicited through her actions as the dog that she doesn't. The next day that I got permission to take her to school, she told me she didn't want to go to school anymore with me. And so she tells me that she doesn't want to go to stores. She tells me to go to work. She tells me to get, she helps me regulate myself when I'm dysregulated. So we do help each other. She does help my CPTSD in ways that you wouldn't even imagine. I do need other help that's more communicative. For example, I'm thinking of hiring a personal assistant that understands my ADD and PTSD that can help me just work with schedules and remembering my appointments. I forget that I have appointments every day, and that burns bridges. I forget directions and things like that, so I need someone who is a human who can help me with that. There's no way that a dog can really help me with that. Having a dog in stores sometimes has hindered that because of her behavior, because she started to act out in stores, and that was just chaos. I wasn't hitting her, and then I never hit her until probably today. I was always blocking because I've taken martial arts, right? But today she hurt me, and she's hurt my friends. And I'm glad that I've been using sort of very hands-on training with her, because Jay, who she hit yesterday, and she's been playing with other pit bulls and things like that, and we've been attacked by dogs, so she's been in the streets, so to speak. And so then when Jay's rescue dog came over, there was a little scuffle, but she won that. And then there was a little scuffle with Jay's dog and his new puppy, and she sent his little puppy to the vet. She bit the little puppy in the neck and the eye. And that could have been my dog, but my dog's too alpha for that shit to happen, And so she dominated that dog, and for the rest of the day, that dog was in the corner to my dog. But it's because I have very, martial artsy MMA type of training probably with my dog, and she plays rough, and probably too rough. And one of the things that she does that's too rough is this punching with her nose, which is not acceptable. And I think only punching her in her nose with some pain is she ever going to learn that that's not okay. She has to experience what it feels like to be punched in the nose, right? What she's doing to other people, because she hasn't stopped. We have to up the level of violence with violence, I think, Like this whole positive thing, I think that's a whole different thing. If with positive training, a lot of things, like this stepping on her leash has been great. She has been able to be off leash more because I've stepped on her leash. It was a simple, non-violent solution, which I don't know if it's violent. It did pull on her neck, but it's gotten her to stop jumping on people. And she can be off leash, which is establishing more trust relationship with my dog, and the more trust you can get with your dog. She can be off leash and she knows to stay on the grass while I'm putting on my roller skates. She can run up to children excitedly and not jump on them. But she does scare people because she's running up to them and then she stops. But I've seen it happen and been really grateful for our training sessions, I guess, that she has learned to not jump on people. I hope, I don't know. I always get nervous when she does it, but, she does understand the no and redirect her. She does stop running in that direction, which is awesome, and she doesn't jump on people. She hasn't yet hurt anybody. But the rescue dog that Jay took home did hurt his other puppy and took his other puppy to the vet. So that could happen in a moment's notice. So I think that it was important for me to stop this behavior that she does before she gets me hurt, or she gets hurt herself, because she has done this punching behavior to other dogs in the dog park. A huge Doberman who basically looked at her, and they allow that punching behavior to happen, but there's going to be one dog who's not going to take that shit, and it's not going to be good, for her. So I feel like checking her. There's a system of checks and balances in the pack, and I think it's time for me to enforce my check and balance. If you don't think so, please send me a comment below and tell me a better way to do it. I'm open.